Welcome to Hanging Out with Temi. My name is Temi Ajayi, and of course, I've got the amazing ladies with me. Amazing transformer, bliss, greatness. How are you?
Yeah, I'm fine. Thanks, Jamie. Thank you very much for having me this week. It has been quite a wonderful time, both away from you, but equally, listening in terms of the shows that you had. I think it's 2 weeks I wasn't on the show, right?
Yes, concurrently. Yes, 2 weeks. We swim it, yeah? We do
Yeah,
actually. But I
yeah,
guess last week was a bit intense and you chicken away. And Ivy can testify to that too, I think.
yeah, yeah. Now, last week was quite um, big for the two of you on the show.
Yeah.
Yeah, equally big outside in terms of the activities that were happening. With what I was following was the trial of George Floyd that has started, which is quite interesting to follow. We are crying out for justice from all the corners, so that's really interesting to follow how it's unfolding. Um, and then obviously also what's happening here in terms of the rape allegations of two parliamentarians and the whole equality and the justice movement, um, um, call for justice. There was the march for, we had the march for justice, very, very interesting line of debate in terms of the demands from women. And at the same time, the release of the 50-50 gender equality report, just to notice how far behind Australia is in terms of that ranking. I just can't believe it that, a developed country like us could lag behind with such an instrument that we have signed up to, even if you compare to some of the African countries, particularly talking about Namibia, where I come from, when Namibia signed up to that instrument, we worked targetedly to achieve that. It took a number of years, but I tell you, it's a commitment right through, all these structures politically, in terms of employment, the top structures in employment. Everybody is doing their part to advance women into, positions of power, positions of leadership. I was shocked to see how, yeah, I almost said like a days ago, but the level of commitment to that here in Australia, I was really shocked. But I'm happy that I'm here in a time where, women are starting to talk about what's happening here. So yeah, there's a lot of work for us to do in terms of our own equality. And the time is right, the time is now. We choose to challenge.
We choose to challenge. It's interesting you say that because the book I'm reading, that book Women in Leadership by Julia Gillard and
Yeah.
Ngozi Kojimela, that's one that was their focus anyway, and that it was indicated in that book, if I'm not wrong, that New Zealand is like number 6 in the world or something. They're doing really well, and Australia is like number 30 something. We're far behind in terms of.
We have dropped a few places even now. We're way behind now.
Yeah, and some other African countries even. You're right. I'm
Yeah.
sure now all hands on deck and people are doing something about this inclusiveness. We need to do it because we know that you put a woman in power, the nation is all structured, all set straight, head straight. So
And
they
we
know
have the
that they
women.
cannot.
We have the women. We've got women of high caliber in this country.
Mhm.
Across the different groups, if I can put it that way. Yeah, we have women, from India, we've got women from Africa, we've got women from Australia, we've got women from China. Everybody's here, as a matter of fact. But it's yeah. I think it's time now. Australia has to definitely open those avenues for the women.
But the way this leadership thing is structured. Actually, it's like white men first, white women second, women of color third, and then no, men of colored first, then women of colored next to it. Like you were like number 4 on the cadre. There's the way it's all done, but everything is coming to open now. But I think we should have a special show for these inclusiveness and women in leadership, women in
We
power.
should.
We really should.
People can't be
What
left
if we leave that?
unchallenged.
Yeah,
We
because
have to
what if
challenge it.
we have to challenge it? We're challenging it. Heidi, are you challenging it?
I don't know, Tammy. I've never looked at myself as a woman of color. I don't think I'll ever. Actually, I was ever just had any
Course.
discrepancy or something like that because I was a woman or a woman of color or something like that. I remember the first time I encountered something about me and a woman, sort of scenario, was when I was studying biomedical engineering. Like by the time we graduated, we first started the course with like so many ladies, so many girls, and then by the end we graduated, it wasn't so many girls, so we were very, very little. And then the people that were like me that went into instrumental biomedical engineering, only 2 of us. So it was me and another girl. And when I started, my first job ever was in Sydney, and that
Yeah, I
was
remember.
I was the only biomedical engineer that they ever hired that was a girl, and there was 27 other
Wow.
men. So
Wow.
I just found it very difficult. Like every time I look around, there's only men.
So you're one of the few ones that you fit into that category of men, where men dominantly the men and that sort of job. But I used to think like you and talk like you now. But what do you say? Now research is shown that a whole lot of women are pushed back. If they're using the statistic that I'm telling you now, the white man first, the white woman second, then the colored man, then before you get to the colored woman. So this is the tool they're using. They're actually using these tools. No, believe it or not, there are some people that are sitting at the back of the policy, and these are their minds. So, but it's coming to open, so things will change because it's not just few of us; it's actually universally that this is happening to us, and that's why the women are fighting.
Yeah.
That's why people like Julia Gilead are fighting as well. And the way we've been groomed, even from elementary school, groomed to do cooking, go to food handling instead of engineering. They prepare you psychologically, they work on with us and divert us to that area. So there are a whole lot of factors that is affecting this issue. But I really want us to go back to last week episode. We need to
Yes.
shout out to Bashorun Dele Bomodi. And like I said, I kept on calling him Otumba, but my husband reminded me it was Bashon. I know that there was a guy called Bashorun Ga, where I come from, is the toppest level of chieftaincy that you can ever attain. And so I went back to him and I apologized, but he wasn't minding that I was calling him Otumba instead of Bashorun. But we really thank Bashorun Dele Momodu for granting our invitation and for opening up to us. I was amazed when he was talking to us about his wife, how he got his wife. Remember, he went to the details of it and everything. So truly, we appreciate him, and he's one of the men that love and support powerful women. That's why I was talking to you about that woman from Egypt and the books he was reading about him, about that woman. So we salute people like Bashon. But today we've got a lot to do. And firstly, I need to apologize that we're coming earlier and later and earlier and later. But there are lots of things that are happening. But we owe it to you, our viewers, that we're going to be coming to you every week, week in, week out. And so we'll try our best, irrespective of what we're going through. Some of us have got cold, some of us are under the weather, but we're coming here today just to keep our promise. So we hope that you are understanding with us. And sit tight because today there's a whole lot of things happening. We're going to go on a quick break and we're going to be right back. Welcome back to Hanging Out with Temi. Today we've got a beautiful topic that we're going to talk about. We're talking about loyalty. We're talking about the enemy of your friend. Is that person automatically your enemy? So loyalty, according to our write-up here, is a key ingredient in friendship and relationship in general. But how far would you take loyalty though in friendship? So today we're going to be discussing if your friend's enemy should be your enemy by default. Or can you still be a friend to your friend's enemy without affecting your loyalty to your friend? Should you, shouldn't you? Or is there a third factor? But I want to talk to you ladies about the festive period. Yesterday was Palm Friday, a Good Friday we call it, because if we believe as Christians, if Jesus had not died for us, we will not have a life and have it eternally. And we know the hope we have is that there is always a Sunday. They might thought they crucify him, but they have done that for gospel to be fulfilled. So they haven't done anything differently. That is from the foundation of the word of God. This is going to happen, and there's going to be a Sunday. But I want to talk to you ladies about cards, complimentary cards. All the cards that you're collecting, what do you do with them? I still don't know what to do with my card because I hoard all my cards. I get them, I'm keeping them, I read them every year, I bring them in. I feel like talking to my friends not to send me another card this year because I still have your card from last year. What do you do with the cards? I'm serious.
Okay, well, it depends who's the card from.
Okay.
So I ask my daughters to hand make me my birthday card, my Mother's Day card. So I keep them. I've kept every single card they gave me since they were babies or children in kindergarten. Get them all, and I've got them all in a box because I go back and I look at them, and I spend some time around Mother's Day when I look at these cards. It means a lot to me. But when it's like a Christmas card or a birthday card where it's only for someone to show me that they got me a card or to gift me something, and there isn't much written there, I don't really do anything with it. I just sometimes I throw it away because I just got the card and I know who the present is coming from, and it's just a Christmas card that has nothing in it. Like how there is cards that just have the same writing in the card with nothing from the person. So they go, Dear Heidi, with love, and then the name. So these cards, I actually throw them away.
I love this.
With all honesty, okay. But there's some cards that someone wrote to me, and they mean a lot to me because they poured their heart out writing it, and they told me something that is very personal, that is touching my heart, that means something to me. These cards I keep. So I have boxes of cards that I've kept along the years. I've kept cards from my mother. I've kept cards from my grandmother because she likes to write. So she wrote me cards, and so amazing to see the cards that she wrote me since I was a kid. And I've kept cards from very dear friends, things that really mean to me. Other than that, I throw them away, with all honesty.
Thank God we asked this question, Liz, because this is good. We know now if you send a card to ID and there's not much in it, it goes in vain.
It must personalize.
Yeah, what do you do with your cards, Liz?
there's these books from the kids, the books that the kids use where they paste, like almost if the ones you use for a vision workshop, where you
Yeah.
paste quite a number of things into it. That's what I pick and, just glue them in there, paste them up and keep it there. Probably not everyone, but more so the ones that are of peculiar and particular meaning. Yeah, because as Heidi rightly says, if we keep every card seriously,
Yeah.
there's not going to be space for everything. But if it really has got meaning, then yeah, it goes in there.
It's good to know because I feel guilty, and being a prudent girl that I am too, I have a look at the price of the card sometimes. If it's $1, I put it on the side. I'm kidding, but seriously, some cards are expensive, and if you put your family photo in it, I'm still keeping some other people's card forever. Of course, I never threw my husband's card away for 30 something years. Never. You can't even, because I don't know where he got his card from. He gets his card from some weird place that you never see. I'm trying to find where he gets it, but I don't know. So truly, you cannot find his card. I don't know where he get them from. But my kids as well, I keep them. But thank you for shining that light to it. So I know now I will not be guilty if I throw some cards away. But before we go ahead, we've got this additional family member I want to show you guys. 1 second. I'll show you.
Chapman. This is the room that's supposed to be the bedroom. So that's why I want to bring the food outside for them.
And then only at night.
Only at night they go to the bedroom, but they're
No,
not coming out.
let them associate those things with the food first. And then when you move it out, they will gravitate towards it and then.
See how hungry they are. Look at them.
You see my little chicks?
Oh my goodness. Are these yours?
Yes.
Oh wow. You've got
Are you
chicks.
cleared with council? Do you have the papers?
Yes, boss. I built a Taj Mahal house for them. As long as the space is big and you don't have roosters that make noise to disturb your neighbors. These are the little chicks, and love them to bits. But what happened to these ones were they were hatched and they were incubated in a little thing. And so when I brought them home, I put them in this big thing. They were not moving. They were like clustered in one little place because they used to that little confined environment. So these little chicks, you have to be sharp, guys. It's okay, you can move around, but no, they cluster. In fact, I put their food a little bit far from them and they never ate. I went back 2 hours after they haven't eaten and they have not drank. So I had to put the food in their bedroom now, where they meant to sleep. Aren't they beautiful?
Oh my goodness.
Absolutely.
Why do you make a face like that?
Oh, I love chicks. I had chicks before when the girls were younger. But then they grew and then they started, picking their feathers and stuff like that.
Oh.
And that was like scary for me. So anyway, it started growing like chickens now. So I asked someone to look after them. So I gave it to her and she's got a farm or something at the back or like a really big backyard. But I couldn't take care of them when they grow. Are you planning to actually get the eggs and stuff like that?
Yeah, we had them in the past. We had them for many years and we used to collect plenty of eggs, lots and lots of eggs. But those chicks belong to each of my grandchildren and my children. So they're going to have their ribbons and their name tags on them. So you know which is yours. And so nice.
Oh, how cute. That's so nice.
I love them. I thought I would share that with you. But while we're on this page of incubating and all that, I want to ask you ladies about, would you be a surrogate mother? There's this somebody that is just done surrogates, and I never thought deeply about it. But now I'm thinking about it. I will carry somebody else's baby in my tummy, and the baby is not going to be mine. And I will tell all my other children that this baby is not mine. So how does this work? Have you seen anyone that's done it before? I'm actually not, I've been really interested and curious about this. I'll carry the baby, but the baby is going to be taking some of my DNA, my blood somehow, eating from, the cord, from some of my nutrients. It's going to have some traits of mine. And I'm still young. Like, I don't know. Can you talk to me about it? Have you seen anyone done it? Do you know anything about this?
Yeah, I know 2 people.
Oh.
Yeah. So one of the people that approached me about a couple of years ago to be my client, she actually when she came and talked to me, and then we decided that we weren't a match, we weren't a fit to be able to work together, because different reasons than what she thought. Like my reasons for not working with her was that she wasn't going to take it serious, and she wanted to be a mother, and she was stopping the pregnancy because of issues. So she didn't really want to work on these issues, and then she just found someone who would have the baby for her. A surrogate mother would have the baby for her. So what they will have is that they will take her husband's sperm, and they will take the lady's eggs, and then they will incubate it in IVF, and then they will take it and insert it in that surrogate mother, and then they will have. So the surrogate mother is actually pregnant at the moment and delivering the baby, I think, in about 3 months or 2 months now.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah. Yeah, that's one person that I know like about. The other.
I can't hear you anymore.
Hello.
Yeah, hi.
Yeah, sorry. Yeah, so the other person I read a story about is that a woman held the baby of her daughter inside her because her daughter could not have kids. She had uterine cancer, and then she had to have a hysterectomy, and so she actually carried her daughter's baby. Now that's the only case that I would consider myself to
Me
be.
too.
Yeah.
Me too. Liz,
Yeah.
have you seen one before, Liz?
No, I've just heard about it. I really haven't seen anybody, or it's not something that is close to me. But now that we are talking about it, I love research, so
Me too.
I can
Me
go
too. I
around
want to say,
look it up. But what I have seen about is ladies getting pregnant with artificial insemination. No clue of who the father is, whose sperm they are taking in. They just go to the sperm banks, get the sperm, get pregnant, and they raise the child alone. I know about 2 ladies who've done that. So, but not about surrogate mom. Yeah.
because with the surrogate mom thing, the question is, would there be abstinence? Would they still be sleeping with their own husbands while they're carrying somebody else's baby? That's something to think about. Because I don't think that's right. I think you need to be for 9 months, no go area. I think this is really deep. But with my children, I can carry, that's okay. But somebody else's, I think I'm going to have to claim the baby afterwards. Sorry, this baby. So I think a strong lawyer needs to be there to say, tell me if you don't give the baby, you go to jail or something. But
Yeah.
we'll go to today's topic. We'll go on a quick break and we'll be right back. Welcome back. If you're just coming in on the show, we say thank you for coming. And if you are a returning, you've been watching our show before now, we say thank you. I appreciate you. So today we've got a very serious topic that I think it's broad, and we don't know if it's wrong or right, because here we just say our own view, and it does not necessarily mean the final say, but really we live and we learn and we grow. So here on the show today, we're talking about your friends' enemies, your enemies. And we thought this has something to do with loyalty. It might not have anything to do with loyalty, but so just putting it out there. And so that's what the issue is about. I'm going to go straight to Liz. Liz, enemy, my enemy, I will assume my enemy is supposed to be your enemy outright.
Um, yeah, that's a tricky one, Timmy. Really, we need to draw the line somewhere, and I think everything depends on the type of friendship that we have.
Okay.
Loyalty is a very dangerous thing. You can kill for loyalty. So if there is an expectation of loyalty, of which I believe friendship requires loyalty, I think there is a need of determining what kind of friendship is this. I remember some time ago we had a show where we were talking about friendship or something, and we really went out extensively on that. My perspective really is my friends become family, and therefore it's really important to talk about our closeness. What kind of closeness do we have really? And that to me will become the basis of how we move forward, because sometimes it's not necessary. Maybe we just networking, politely on a particular matter, or when it comes to that topic, that's where we go and meet. You know what I mean? So
Yeah.
we're not really friends as in you would be my go-to person. My husband would call you when I have got an issue coming up for me at night. He'll probably not call you. You know what I mean? There's probably somebody else who is closer, who deserves that call. So I think it really depends on the level of friendship, and whichever level has got its own level of loyalty. In friendship, you would know that I don't expect this from Liz, for instance, because of the level of our friendship. That's where we are at. And if I go beyond that, you could feel betrayed, or you will definitely have that sense of I wasn't loyal to you. So it all starts with defining the friendship that you have before you can go to the level of are my enemies your enemies. I mean, what kind of friends are we? For me to side with you and say, yes, we need to, ghost this person. So, yeah, I think I'm going to stop there for now.
That's right, because I like what you say when you say define the friendship. Remember on the show once, we were talking about friendship and we talked about defining. And we said a lot of times we just fall into relationship without defining it. And I know particularly, I'm not good at sitting down and say, hang on, let's work it out. Where are we on this scale of friendship? We just fall. But then I might drag for a long time before I will say, yes, then you're my friend. But a lot of us don't define it. But it's good the way you said it, Heidi, I'll let you go.
Yeah. When you raised this up, Temi, the first thing that came to my mind was, if I had an argument or a fallout with a friend, do I expect my children to
Huh.
enemy that person, my children, my own children.
Mm.
And what happened is that this has actually happened. So I went straight to, in my past, in my experience, has this ever happened? Yes, it has. So I had a fallout with a very, 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 very dear friend, and it wasn't like we were enemies. We were just not the same anymore, and we cut all relations. But the thing is, the girls kept friends with the other daughter,
Wow.
and I thought that was very mature from them. I thought that was wise and mature, that they did not follow my footsteps. And I do the same with, for example, their father. So now their father is not my husband, so he is my ex-husband, and sometimes we don't share the same opinion about things. And we are very, very, like, I dare say we are opposite in so many different occasions. And I don't want the girls to think of mom as the friend and dad is the enemy or anything like that. I tell them, well, this is my opinion, that's what dad's opinion is. Now you are allowed to follow whatever it is that you feel is right to do, and no pressure from me. You know why, Temi? When I sat with that question, your enemy is your friend's enemy, and that, when I sat with that question, I found that loyalty, above loyalty in my value system, is freedom. So if
True.
loyalty is a value, freedom is a top value for me, in higher value, because freedom of, you can express what you want, and you can feel whatever you like towards someone, and you can be friends with anyone, and I just respect that. So respect, comes with freedom, comes with, I trust in your wisdom. Look, as a friend, Temi, I trust your wisdom. You're my friend because you're wise. You're my friend because I love and respect you. And if I have a problem with someone, and if I have an argument, even if I had, a fight with someone, very rare, but let's say I did, okay, I believe that if you have something got to do with them, I will honor and respect that, because this is your life. And you know what? You never know. You might come around, this person might come around, and you might be friends again. You have no
That,
idea.
that's very good. I like the angle that you went to. You went into the children and then went into your friend. You look at that, sometimes I think we expect too much from our friends, because the way you're saying it, I'm thinking, if my children did that, I probably would accept it. But if my friend did it, is it going to be a different thing? And I'm looking at the angle of trust in the first place. So if I trust my friend, and like you said, I trust her wisdom. I trust that anyway, she's not a betrayer. She's who she is. She's just doing that freedom and everything. Will I respect it? So I question the, when we're fighting, that our my enemy is not my friend's enemy. If I'm questioning that, I think I'm questioning the fact that I don't trust that my friend in the first place. You see, I had, and but considering where I come from though, in Nigeria, when, when we fight sometimes with our friend, it's like do or die. It's like big deal. And then we start to magnify this fight and start to have bad thoughts about that friend, exaggerated. We will be thinking of, even this person is dangerous to us. So more traditionally, I'm saying, I mean, people are civilized now, things are changing. But before, you don't want your child to go to your enemy's camp, because then you say, oh, my children are vulnerable. I don't want to take the children to go. Maybe they can do something to harm the children. That's what we used to do. But in fairness, my mother never did it. In fairness, I must say that even when my mother had what do you call it? I have a stepmother that's living, she lives down the street not far from us. If she's coming from the shop or something, my mom will ask me to go and get the bag. You know, when an elderly person is coming with a bag, little one will go and get the bag. So I didn't grow up with that, in fairness. But I know that majority of time we're always scared of our enemy harming our children. So I question the trust that you have in your friend particularly, but your children is a different case. We might say because they're younger, they might not have the wisdom or whatever. But your adult friend is an adult. She's not gonna go there and gasbag about you. But sometimes, like Liz said, the type of friendship. If you're really my friend, and I tell you that this person is really dangerous, maybe the person took my husband or something. You know what I'm saying? Then I will expect you to run away. But is this the case? Because this friend did something to harm me very badly. So I'll be wondering, what sort of friendship are you doing with that person, Liz?
Yeah, no, definitely. My point with regards to this would be, when we come together as friends, the stuff that we share, and based on that, there's this boundaries that we are putting down in terms of, this is where we stand, these are the values, this is how far we go, etc. And so sometimes it's not necessarily point blank in terms of putting your point across, but as mature people, you when we have discussions, you pick up boundaries. You say, okay, Tammy doesn't like this. When it comes to this, she likes going to this, this far. I must take it a bit cautious in this area. And along those lines, there's a lot that comes out. If you have not shared those boundaries, and your friend goes beyond what you have expected of a friend, how do you maneuver that? Do you still feel you were betrayed by your friend? And more so, if you had the fallout with the previous or the enemy before the two of us met,
okay,
does that equally become my enemy? I think we really need to look into these aspects as well, because as I say, loyalty is very blind. If I am loyal to you, I can kill for you. You know what I mean? Loyalty has caused wars. So my point is really, if those aspects are clear, then I shouldn't say enemies as such, because people don't necessarily remain enemies, but they cut that little closeness that was there is not there anymore. It's not like enemies that we won't be talking when I see you, or I'm just gonna shrug my shoulder when we meet. It's not animosity like that. It's just what was there is just not there anymore. I'm probably going to say hi to you when, we meet face to face. Yeah. So in that regard, I equally need to know from us as friends what has caused that rift between the two of you, so that I see whether I align myself with that or I don't, because I need to have the freedom to be able to choose where I stand with this matter, so that it's not an expectation on your part, but it's something that I had an opportunity to think over and to make a decision over.
That's smart. That's a very, very good point. It's true, because if the boundary is not spelled out, it will be quite unfair of me to just assume that you should just be fighting blindly
Exactly.
or supporting me with that. And that's what we don't do a lot anyway. All right, we're going to go on a break. And when we come back, we will play a video of Nelson Mandela regarding to this issue. Welcome back on the show. We're talking about your friend's enemy are they your enemy by default? Do they automatically become your enemy? But we're going to have watch a video of Nelson Mandela related to this issue.
Let us move on to our next questioner at the microphone over there. Mr. Edelman.
Welcome to America, Mr. Mandela. I'm Ken Edelman. Those of us who share your struggle for human rights and against apartheid have been somewhat disappointed by the models of human rights that you have held up since being released in jail. You've met over the last 6 months 3 times with Yasser Arafat, who you have praised. You have told Gaddafi that you share the view and applaud him on his record of human rights and his drive for freedom and peace around the world. And you have praised Fidel Castro as a leader of human rights and said that Cuba was one of the countries that's head and shoulders above all other countries in human rights, despite the fact that documents at the United Nations and elsewhere show that Cuba is one of the worst. I was just wondering, are these your models of leaders of human rights? And if so, would you want a Gaddafi or an Arafat or a Castro to be a future president of South Africa?
One of the mistakes which some political analysts make is to think that their enemies should be our enemies. That we can and we will never do. We have our own struggle, which we are conducting. We are grateful to the world for supporting our struggle. But nevertheless, we are an independent organization with its own policy. And the attitude of every country towards, our attitude towards any country is determined by the attitude of that country to our struggle. Yasser Arafat, Colonel Gaddafi, Fidel Castro support our struggle to the hilt. There is no reason whatsoever why we should have any hesitation about hailing their commitment to human rights as they are being demanded in South Africa. Our attitude is based solely on the fact that they fully support the anti-apartheid struggle. They do not support it only in rhetoric. They are placing resources at our disposal for us to win the struggle.
Welcome back on Agina. We tell me I could watch that man forever and ever. But basically, it's a, you know, Nelson Mandela is a wise man. I love his wisdom a lot, and human rights activist to a core. But he says that, you know, Castro, Gaddafi, all of them, they don't need to be our enemy by default. We support the fact that they support South Africa in the times of struggle. They do not do it by mouthing it. They actually dispense a lot of resources to support them. But then the world is hating them. Fidel Castro and all that, they're hating them, we don't automatically have to hate them. But I think that's loyalty as well. It comes to loyalty. I just thought I would show a little bit of what the wisest man says, that the enemy of the world don't automatically be our enemy. And I've got another example I'm going to show us that confirm that our enemy don't supposed to not automatically or invariably our friend's enemy. But I want to put a spin into this angle of loyalty and of enemy friend and all that. Now, the question I was going to ask is, if you're married, let's use like I did for example, and you had me as your friend while you were married, and then we became family friend with your husband, and then your husband did a walk. Do I still keep him as a friend? Whose friend am I? If he's marrying somebody else, should I attend his wedding, for example, even though you are my very tight friend? And we say the enemy of our friend is not supposed to be our enemy. This is a different angle I want to do, because sometimes unless something really happened to you, you don't know what you do. So I like to explore all this angle and dig deep into it. How would you respond that if I remain your husband's friend, close, and then we're still going to, his girlfriend now is married and I'm the chairperson of the wedding? How does that sound?
Okay, so
Very different one.
I'll ask you if I get the question properly. So does that mean if my ex-husband is getting married?
Yes. And I'm there. I'm like the decor or something.
No, if you attend I would love to attend my ex-husband's wedding myself.
What?
Of course. I'll be happy for him. He's a beautiful man and he deserves all happiness and he deserves everything that is beautiful in the world. He is the father of my children. I honor him. I respect him. I'd love to be in his wedding. I'd love to bless him and bless his new wife. And actually this actually happened. He asked me if I could introduce the woman that he chose to be his wife at the time to the girls, and I would ease the girls into the relationship and all of that. And well, the lady's not there anymore, but I did that. I went and I spoke to the girls and I told them, well, you know what, Dad is getting married. You're gonna have a beautiful stepmother. And this is I don't know, Tammy. I don't think there's anything wrong with him getting married or him dating or him being happy. Isn't this the ultimate thing that I want for myself? I'd want him to want the same thing for me. You know what? What I wanted to ask is, let's say this is not a marriage relationship or something like that, not that intimate. Let's say that you and Liz, for example, had a fight, a really bad fallout, and I am inviting, God forbid, and I am inviting, and I've got a big birthday party coming up, my 50th, for example, and I want to really invite the two of you, but I know that the two of you had an argument and you're not friends anymore. Now it's like I have a choice of inviting you or her. What am I gonna do?
Right. I will tell you, for me now, invite both of us. It's okay. I will honor you for that because this is your big day, and I really want you to be happy for your big day. And the fact that I have issue with someone doesn't mean you will not have the fullness of fun on your birthday. I think it would be so unfair if I'm giving you that condition of not inviting people that you want to come and grace the occasion. Fairly, I think it's unfair, truly. And I will say that anytime, anywhere.
Okay. Yes, Liz.
Yeah, I want to say loyalty is an action word, and the action comes in what you do and how you do it. Your dilemma of whom do I invite, how you go about that question is where you display your loyalty.
Yeah, true.
So from your perspective, you will have a conversation with Temi. You will have a conversation with me. And what is coming out from those conversations will set you free from how you will progress. And that's where the loyalty is. Me and Temi, as two mature women, will know how we handle ourselves when we meet at that corner where we have to face each other. Because we are not in that space where we carry over, a dispute to every space where we meet, that's not the only thing there is to talk about. This is her whole life beyond, a dispute, supposed to be. If you are mature, you should be able to look beyond that, because in life, we are bound to meet at places. We are bound to meet at networking sessions. We are bound to meet into conferences. There's a lot of places where we're bound to meet. So we should be able to manage ourselves and our emotions. And that should not put you in a place where you wonder, whom do I invite? But I must say that battle lines get drawn when people divorce. That's where you see loyalty. When Temi and Bumi, God forbid, divorce, then you and I will probably start, visiting Temi and not Bumi anymore. We will see Bumi where he is, where we meet, probably at Mega Lines, when we once go there, we will meet him. While, Temi, we even make sure we go to her. We make sure she's got something to eat at night. We make sure she's fine. We even make shifts. You go in the morning, I go in the afternoon, stuff like that. That's, you literally see where somebody's loyalties lie. When, two people who were together apart, it's so clear. I mean, I've got friends that I don't talk to as I used to when they were together, because, my lines were drawn when they divorced. I'm on this side the more than on the other side. So how you sleep, how you wake up is none of my concern anymore. But I'm going to ask my friend how she is or how he is. Are you okay? Is everything good? But I don't mind about the other person anymore, because my loyalty is being, put into action here. And it shows actually between these two people who was my friend.
That's very interesting you said that, because I asked the question of relationship, because this happened to me before, that I had a friend that is very close, very, very close friend, and we're all friends. And so our husbands are friends and we're friends. And we so much involved in each other's life. And the day that she was dumped, even though I like the way Liz said, you would communicate, you would share with each other, we ask that question before. There was no notice, no idea that this was going to come to play. All we saw was another wife. Just like that. Another wife. Not just a wife that came as a pregnant wife. I'm like, so the shock, I had to like call myself and minister to myself and say, it's okay. You don't need to kill us. But I was seriously shocked for many years, especially when you kept on saying, you're my best friend, you're very close to me, you're my, in fact, I'm bringing this pregnant wife to come and visit you because you're my number one friend. I'm bringing her from the airport, bringing her to you to come and say hello to you. But what about my friend? What happened to that one? So my loyalty just went off the roof. I'm like, I'm happy for you, but I still cannot get over the way that one was dumped. No sign, no nothing. I can almost vouch that he did nothing. Very beautiful person. So I was truly, before man, I was happy for him, the way he did his life, but I was so shocked because of the way you treated my friend, knowing fully well how much he invested in your life. You were basically feeding and living on this woman for many years, feeding and living on her. And we know that. And this is how you're just going to dump? No, we didn't even talk about, you didn't say, my friend, we've been fighting for a year, we had an issue. You just brought another woman. So my loyalty went off. So in this case, the enemy of my friend became it did. So I agree with what Liz was talking, because when it comes to this sort of relationship, I think it's different. I felt so bad because we were too much involved in each other's lives. You don't need to tell me you're coming to my house, you're coming. We're free like anything. And we pray together. We even go to church together. And then you did this? I don't know if God is going to be happy, but I'm very worried about the type of values you have, the type of person you are. I think you're just an abuser, and I think you've just abused my friend, and I don't know what you're going to do to abuse me too. So now I'm being careful. That's all I just want to share to confirm what Liz was alluding, to. I agree with you in terms of that. And Heidi, I know you're happy for Magdi to be happy. But Heidi, you knew when somebody was supposed to be your friend and then he disappointed us, he became my enemy for a little while.
Tammy, sometimes it's I'll tell you what happens with me. I get shocked for a little bit of time, and I get upset for a little bit of time. I question my values. I go within, and then I form a proper opinion. So when Magdi came to me and he said about this new person that he wants me to bring into the family, and he wants me to ease in the girls with her and all of that, I thought, you know what? First of all, it was such a shock for me because that was in the beginning. Like, we just got a divorce. Like, we got the divorce because of that. Okay, because he was wanting to move on. I never wanted a divorce. He wanted a divorce because he wanted to get married. So it was like, okay, well, so you wanted a divorce, and now you're moving on and you're getting married, and now you want me to go and talk to the girls about this new lady, and now this is mind blowing, right? So it took me a while to digest this inside me, and a lot of work with my coaches, a lot of work, and wow. I just ended up at a place where I questioned, what do I want for myself? If I was in this man's place, and I found a lifetime partner, and this man was going to be my daughter's stepdad, well, how do I want my ex-husband to play in this picture? Do I want him to be the enemy of the new man? And do I want him to, hold the grudges already? Do I want him to have this attitude? Or do I want him to ease my daughters into this, relationship that I've got? So what he asked me was valid. And I'd love to him to do the same for me. So if I want him to do that, why can't I be that person to him? Well, look, it sounds crazy, but it took me a lot of work to arrive there. It took me a lot of work, months of work. And now I declare that if that one day comes and he walks in with a new lady and he wants to be her husband and she wants to be him as well, I'll go to the wedding. I'll go, I'll do all the, like, I'll dance and I'll be so happy for them, just because, if today, because the question that I ask myself again and again and again, if today was my last day here on earth, what would I do? That question, Temi, has never left my mind for 5 years. If today was my last day here, what would I choose to do? And the answer is always what I choose to do today. So it sounds like sometimes I get held up in the misunderstandings, and sometimes I get held up in my own emotions and my own mess. And I am human. I am so human, and I honor that also, and I respect that, and I go back to the drawing board and I open my Bible, and my Bible tells me what to do.
I think also it's interesting, because when you have a very clean and decent breakup, it's different from when you have a nasty breakup.
Yeah.
And so none of the breakup is good, but depends on the process of the breakup. And also, like you said, you've got a whole lot of time to work on yourself to get to where you get to. So we that are your friends, we might not be there yet. So then we behave the way we behave. But there's a question here that I want us to read. Someone sent a question. I think it's better to group or class our relationship with people into class 1, 2, 3, etc. instead of the dichotomy friend-enemy grouping. It can be really hard to know who your enemies are. That is true. That is, a lot of times we think people are our friends, but they're actually not your friend. And so you might be like, I think it was Liz that said, if something happened in the middle of the night, who does the husband call? Did he call me, or did he call Tinashe? So I might be thinking I'm the best friend, but really I'm not. So we can't be assuming that all these things that is not true. So we need to start grouping. That's a good one, like Latif says. We need to group 1, 2, 3. But people don't want to be 3. They want to be 1. Even though they're not 1, they still want to be 1, or they want you to be 1 for them. But I'm going to go on a quick break. I think we need to have a break, and I will share with you what Jesus did to someone who was going. We'll be right back. If you're just joining us, welcome to Hanging Out with Temi. Today we're talking about, are your friends enemy your enemy? And we're discussing loyalty. And today we've talked about having a boundary, categorizing the type of friends what level of friendship you really have, and also to think deeply about your values. It's freedom, the utmost values you have. And but it's not about just saying for the saying sake. Some people that are talking that like this, they've worked on themselves and they truly know who they are, because it's easier said than done. This is not easy. Sometimes you think you can do it, you might not be able to do it. But I like the way that you said we should talk beforehand to know the type of friends, the level you are. If something happened to me in the middle of the night, who will my husband call? Are you even number 5 or number 6? So don't assume Temi is your best friend only because we're an associate or acquaintance, or we talk, we might have children the same age, but really you're not my friend, and I have a friend that I have not even spoken to in a year, but she's actually my close friend, and she knows, like so knit. But 1 year we have not even spoken, and that's a fact. And I truly have friends that are like that, but they know and they trust me to say, Temi is busy, she's silly, she'll be all right, and that's the truth. Those are my friends. So don't imagine that we're friends. So this is very, very good topic, I reckon. But I want to share with you quickly, because for me, I always find a benchmark. What will Jesus do? So there was a story in John 18 when they were trying to arrest Jesus. Remember, they've only just arrested him on Friday, before crucifixion. They were looking for him and they want to bond him and arrest him, all these chief high priests and all the Pharisees. They were going to arrest him. And he says, yes, I'm here. You can get me. I'm the Jesus, from Nazareth. And they got him. What did one of his disciples do? Peter, Simon Peter, he went and removed his sword and chopped off the right hair of one of the high priest's servants. And what did Jesus do? He commanded Peter, withdraw your sword, keep it. That's not that. You don't do that. Shall I not drink? Because everything that is happening to you, it's happening for you. Whatever that was happening to Jesus then is to fulfill the gospel. And he knew it. And this is the thing sometimes when you're fighting for people, you don't know the cause of their fight. So you need to actually be really sure and certain before you start to fight. So Jesus said, no, put away your sword. We're not going to do that. And he was fighting for Jesus. He was loyal. But you know what happened? What is interesting? Few days afterwards, this same Peter, that's like, Jesus, I'm going to fight for you. I'm going to kill who kills you. I'm going to chop them up. He went and denied the Jesus. Same Peter denied Jesus. So some people are schizophrenia. And so you can't, I'm not saying it is Jesus knows the best, but we can't just say because someone is loyal to you in this time, they're not loyal to you in this time. I think we just have to own up to our own issues, deal with it in our own way. And we talk so much on this platform about expectation. Reduce your expectation from people. Don't assume too much. If we have not reached an agreement and I tell you are like first class friend, don't assume. And if I fight with ID and you don't know the cause of our fight, you don't need to fight for ID. A good friend will always trust you. I trust you that even if I'm fighting with somebody, not my husband, we already agreed that we should remove relationship out of it. So we're just talking about friendship now. If I'm fighting with someone and either of you girls went to that friend and be the person's friend, I know you're going there plainly, your friend there, and you're still protecting my integrity. I can still trust that you're not there to dagger me or to put me down. And you will still fight for me even with that friend, even though you fight. I think that's the best friendship we need to have. To know that whether I'm there or I'm not there, I trust my friend. They're fine. They're really good. And I think that's important. I don't need to be saying, don't talk to person. If I'm saying that, then I don't trust you. I don't trust your wisdom. I don't trust your friendship. I don't trust your, integrity. But if we do wholeheartedly, we will give ourselves freedom to fly and to be who God has called us to be. On that note, I'm going to have to be quiet because I think we have done a great justice to this. For me, I've gotten a lot of insights, about and I'm dealing with that issue of discussing from this get-go the level of relationship that this is. I just done one last week, and I said, in this circumference, I'm your pastor. Talk to me as such. In this circumference, I'm your friend. Talk to me as such. You need to know in a different space who you are and what you represent at that stage. I'm not your friend here. I'm actually your pastor, and I'm working with you on your issues. And when we leave this place, now we become friends outside of that. And that's the way I'm learning as I grow to be able to do so that people will not assume wrongly. So I'm going to leave it to you wise women to run the show up because our time were just so perfect. Perfect today. Please,
Yeah,
go
I
ahead.
love what you just shared, Demi. I love that one. I don't think I want to top it up with anything. I love it, and I love that you left it to I play different roles at different times, and
That's
I wear
right.
many hats. And well, sometimes I'm gonna wear a hat of an advisor, and sometimes I'll just be a friend and enjoy my time with you, and just muck up or do whatever. So it doesn't matter. Because I'm human and I can have all of these hats at any point of time, at any stage. And, I love that this is the time of Easter. So crucifixion yesterday, today, amazing day today, and tomorrow, the resurrection of Jesus. And when parts of us, when part of our ego dies, a lot in us rises. And when we know that there's so much in us that needs to change because it will be replaced with different other beautiful parts, the surrendering to the death, like Jesus surrendered his life to death to save us, surrendering our ego to die and to learn and to become a better educated, knowledgeable, and a lot more stronger ego in terms of serving what is best and why we are called here to be and to do. That is this is the resurrection to me. So I pray that the resurrection of Jesus Christ will touch our hearts and will give us all the ability to surrender to parts of us going and parts of us rising, and accept this beautiful topic and accept everything that comes from this platform as a blessing to your life and as a blessing to us ladies, and to everybody we touch their heart for.
Please,
Yeah. You guys have said such beautiful things, really. I don't want to dilute that, definitely. But friendship is a very beautiful thing. If you have, people you call friends, it's definitely worth setting the boundaries so that we eliminate every little thing that can almost get in the way. And we know exactly where we stand with each other. So that we respect our boundaries, and we build on what we have as friends. Not everybody is your friend, really. So it's important to know those 2, 3, 4 people that you can count on, and to build something that is really strong with those people. So having said that, happy Easter to all of you. Happy Easter to the Heart Girls. Let's enjoy this time, and definitely, ponder on the work of Jesus Christ and what it really means to us.
that's very, very good. We just hope that the hope, the love, and joy of Jesus Christ will rest and abide on every one of us, and we'll be able to appreciate the ultimate price that He paid for us. Happy Easter. Have a wonderful Sunday, everyone. Tomorrow on Hanging Out with Tammy, we're just going to say bye bye for now.
Goodbye.